Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my matches that led up to me reaching top 10k this season with Splashyard. Hopping into the first game here, this match is actually against the official Brazilian announcer for CRL. I checked his YouTube and he has like 260,000 subscribers. So yeah, I was playing Furnace Splashyard this game with vines. It was a pretty good variation at first, but then I started losing a lot of matches, so I switched, which you guys will see later in the video. And he was playing this weird bait deck. I'm pretty sure usually has Mother Witch, but he swapped it up for Dark Goblin, which is actually really good for us. So yeah, that wall breaker on the left actually somehow got a connection, even though one of the wall breakers was going to a building and the other wall breaker was hit by my Berserker. So yeah, Valkyrie here just for the scar me, and he can't really pop his ability into a Valkyrie, so this will be pretty good for me. And I go Furnace to block up the lane, Vines just to get rid of that Dark Goblin, and then Berserker plus Barbarian Barrel should be able to clean everything up here. So now we have a little counter push on the left and something on the right too, and I knew he was gonna have to use Elixir on the left, so I just went for my Valkyrie on the right, knowing that he has a lot of spammy cards, and it was good that we forced out the Skeleton King so that he can't make a big counter push with it later. Yeah, so now we have a pretty good cycle, and his isn't the best. He probably went for a Fire Spirit at the bridge here, I'm pretty sure, but we'll see. Let's go for my Furnace to back. He doesn't have any big spells, so our Furnaces are going to eat him alive. This is just a pretty good Goblin Hut. I don't really have to do much else. And I killed the Dark Goblin early, as I want my Fire Spirits to start spawning and do some good work. I go for my Graveyard here, because all he has are cards that I can just use my poison on. Berserker on the left. It's actually able to kill the wall breakers this time, and thankfully that Dark Goblin died to the poison, which is very nice. So we just get a Goblin Hut here, and he goes for his Skeleton King in the back for his ability. We just block up the lane with the Furnace. He can't really do anything about it. I go Barbarian Barrel here, and he goes for his Skeleton Evo. I probably should have just gone for poison instead of Berserker, but you know, it's okay. And I go for my Graveyard immediately at 0, because my Evo Valkyrie was going to clutch up. So yeah, he has to use a lot of Elixir on both sides, and that Furnace actually was locked onto the tower, which is very nice. He's not doing a good job at outcycling my Goblin Huts, and he keeps going with his wall breakers along with his Skeleton Barrel, so he's not getting a lot of damage. Yeah, I went Berserker onto the Dark Goblin just to get rid of that, and then Furnace cleaned up that Skeleton King ability really well. Just go Goblin Hut here, make sure that we always have it in cycle, and I can go for a Valkyrie in the back. Yeah. I knew he was going to place a lot of cards on the left lane, so I just went for a poison just to make sure he wouldn't have any momentum going on that side. And now we're stacking a lot of troops on the right, so we can just go in. It probably would have been smarter for me to use a Barbarian Barrel on the left side, so I could save more Elixir and have it for offense. But we're up so much damage, it really doesn't matter. And I got that nice Fire Spirit connection onto the Skeleton King, which is really nice. For once, he outcycled my Goblin Hut, but I was just able to poison and everything was fine. Poison cleans up everything very well. And we can just go in for a pretty free Graveyard here. Furnace the bridge to try and spawn spirits over. We can just go Barbarian Barrel on the Skeleton Barrel. And Vines all this, and yeah. Pretty dominant game against that good player. In this next game here, I went against Martina. He was playing that one meta or not meta, but it's just been around. Sparky, giant, double minions, Evo Skarmy deck. This deck is so annoying to face because it's like you can never go in. I mean, overall, this has just been a pretty bad meta for Splashyard. It's almost unusable, unless you're just extremely good. I'll try my best to get a top 10k finish this season, but we'll see. So poison here on the Sparky. I could have saved it in case he went for a minion horde, but I have my Goblin Stein if I need to pop an ability. Cannon in this placement because I know that the Sparky will not shoot. He'll just like target something else. And sadly, we end up taking half our tower. Not really sure why. Like, watching this back, I don't really understand my mistake. Maybe I should have surrounded the Sparky better with my guards. But, yeah. Not a very good situation to be in at all. But I know that we can probably come back if we have perfect defense because he doesn't have any big spells. Just arrows. And so we just use his minions. And so I went in for a graveyard thinking I'd get something, and then I low-key forgot he had minion horde. He goes for 9 elixir on just my graveyard and night. And we just get a nice poison and that just cleans everything up. We were down a little bit of elixir. But I knew that we'll be able to defend. He goes for a Sparky in the back. I placed my Goblin Stein in the back, like the one behind the King Tower, so that it has further time for it to walk up. And as soon as I saw the Skeleton Army, I knew we just needed to cycle back to our poison and we'd be fine. I popped my ability here with my Goblin Stein, which is really nice because it took care of everything. And then now I need my poison on everything. And we do have a counter pushing Ice Wizard, so we can probably go for a graveyard here, but then I saw the Sparky and knew that I basically have no chance. But yeah, we have Evo Cannon in cycle, so it should be a pretty easy defense. Have our Ice Wizard down and slowing everything. And he can zap that if he wants, but we have our Knight because I predicted he was going to zap. Ice Wizard should kill all those minions, so we have an opportunity to go for a graveyard here. And then he can use whatever swarms he wants, but I have my ability from the Goblin Stein, and I have poison on everything, so no matter what he puts, we're going to get a lot of damage. He does overcommit a lot. He goes for Skarmy, he went for Evo Zap, which is very nice. And knowing that he was down elixir and overcommitted, we just kept going and just keep stacking your cards at the bridge when this happens. And just because of that moment, we took the lead by so much. All we need is a poison, and we win this game, basically. In the next game here against TikTok02 Miguel09, he is playing that meta Piggies deck with Royal Ghost, Lightning, Evo Pigs, and Ice Wizard. I'd say this is a decent matchup because they don't have any like good way to counter your graveyard. So yeah, we just go guards to protect our Ice Wizard, and thankfully he shoots at the other lane. Somehow that pig still gets a hit, but it's okay. One important tip for you guys is that if you play against all these meta decks, or like if you've played against them before, you should recognize them by like the first couple cards. So I saw, since he had Royal Ghost and E-Spirit and Skeletons, once I saw the Ice Wizard, I knew that it wasn't going to be RG and Piggies. And since he doesn't have a lot of graveyard counters, I was able to go for my graveyard there, knowing that it's not some RG deck and they can just kind of push him in. I tried to get some good value going in on the right with my Barbarian Barrel, but couldn't really do much. Thankfully that Royal Ghost is low. I just ate the damage on the right with the Ice Wizard because he's not going to get a lot. Also, dude, why do they not go all to the tower? It's annoying. I actually get a really, really lucky interaction I've never seen before with the Ice Wizard. The pigs were like running on top of each other and not going to my tower. I've never seen that before. But I guess you guys can use that and test that out. Just make sure you do the same placement I did. He goes for his ghost at the bridge. Not really an intelligent play. And I can just the guards, Barbarian Barrel, clean up these, and I'm gonna place my knight as well and stack on my troops, because he was gonna have to place his Goblin Hut instead of go for a lightning. And I can go for another Goblin Stein here, distracting that ghost, and then guards to protect my doctor. I probably could have gone for a Graveyard plus ability, but I went for my Evo Cannon as well, so I probably didn't need to do. That's fine. I do get a nice ability though, getting a lot of damage and putting us in the lead by quite a lot. Knight the back, Barbarian Barrel predicting that he was going to go for his pigs and Graveyard, because I knew he'd spend a lot of elixir on the pigs. Sadly though, we probably should have just defended. He did get a lot of damage from that. So next time, for this game, we know not to do that. Prediction, Ice Wizard, always in that spot. You should always have your Ice Wizard in that spot preemptively before they go for their pigs. We could get a really nice graveyard here. Poison everything. Guards should do a nice job on most of that, taking out half of its HP. And he's probably gonna go for, he's gonna go for his lightning there. But thankfully the ghost doesn't go invisible before our Ice Wizard kills it. And right now we're up so much damage, we can just go for a Graveyard Poison and basically just win the game. Yeah. In the next game here against Sakul X Expo, or Heart Expo, pretty obvious what this guy was gonna play. His clan's name was Buff Tesla, please. I saw the split archers and I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. Went for a risky cannon there. He might have just like gone for a knight at the bridge first play, plus an expo 9 elixir. But you know, it's really only bad players do that. But you should probably only do that if you know their knight is not in cycle. So yeah, this matchup is pretty good, I'd say, for Splashyard. At least this variation, because you have the Goblin Stein. You just place it at the bridge, and you have so many cards tanking for the expo. Your cannon, your knight, Eva Knight, Ice Wizard, and stuff. So we just get a nice Goblin Stein here. We don't need to pop the ability and waste elixir. And we go for a Graveyard, because he doesn't have his archers yet. Yeah. We do get a lot of damage, which is very nice. And so he has used his archers twice, so we know that he will have archers in cycle, or Evo archers. He goes for them at the bridge, which is kind of bad because I can just poison them. And we have our Evo Knight to tank for the expo. He'll probably go for his knight to block. Just get a nice Barbarian Barrel. And that pretty much kills the expo. He does get a mini lock, which gives him like 400 damage, but it's okay. We do have our Goblin Stein back in cycle, and our Evo Cannon. We'll save our Goblin Stein for his expo. We go for Evo Cannon first to try and kill the archer, and then our Goblin Stein. We don't need to pop the ability again because we can use that elixir to place a graveyard on the left, which does give us nice damage, making sure that he's not able to support his push. We just go for a poison here since we don't have our Goblin Stein in cycle. A cannon here too, just to block up the lane a little bit if he ever wants to go in again. I'm just gonna let that play out on the left, poison the archer and the expo, and then cannon. Pretty weird Tesla by him. I'm not sure why he did that. Didn't really get him any value. Ice Wizard down low on the left to try and get us another push on the right, or left I mean. And then we can go for our Goblin Stein. He goes for his expo, but because we have so much going on the left, he's forced to either respond to that or defend his expo, and he chose to place a log on his expo, which ended up us getting a ton of damage on the left, which I think made him give up here. Yeah. Fireball's my king tower, and so yeah. Just knowing how to read your opponent and understanding when they think is going to be the right time to go in is very important in these matchups, because you can punish them for their mistakes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be uploading a video showing the best deck with the new heroes. The Heroic Knight might be overpowered in Graveyard, but we will see. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in that video.